CFA Nation? Dave. And I'm here to bring you guys another installment of R3 Wickets. All right. Now, we're going to be doing R3 Wickets about Brisbane Heat game versus the Strikers. And I will say it was a much more entertaining game than it first started. Okay. But I'm going to combine what I did not like. And I mean, listen, you go on ESPN Quick Info right now, and the first article you see says, this is just ridiculous. Shocking LBW decision cost the Heat. So that's going to be a big portion of this R3 Wickets because there's been two huge calls in the last day, back to back. Okay. And is it time? It's time. Forget about is it time. It's not a question. It is time. Somebody asked me how would I improve the BBL, or what's the difference between the BBL and the IPL? I'm sorry, IPL gets it right. BBL, are you kidding me? You got your own announcers. Warren was going off on the broadcast. Are you kidding me? Okay, and the only reason this isn't an issue because Australian Cricket Board doesn't care, because for them, no matter who wins, they win. They own all the teams. This is what makes the argument, okay, for independent owners. Because if there were independent owners, you better believe the Brisbane Heat, who lost by 2 runs, by the way, 2 runs, would have been on the phone today like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding? This is ridiculous. Something's got to change. But before we jump into that, we're going to talk about this game. Again, we got the Brisbane Heat and we've got the Adelaide Strikers. Now, I tell you right away, this game looked very one-sided for a long time, and the Heat were getting blown out of the water, guys. They were getting raked. And if it wasn't for the escapades, I should say, and I'm going to start with, I guess, what did I like from the Brisbane Heat? Man, this guy right here, Pearson, 69 runs on 36 balls when everything else failed. And mind you, guys had gone down. They were down to, I think, 8 wickets. And he came in and held down the fort. It was super impressive what he did. He literally tried to carry this team on his back, and that was really, really impressive. Okay, I'm not going to take anything away from the bowling from the LA Strikers. They did a great job of bowling. We'll talk about that shortly. But as far as the Brisbane Heats, I'm going to talk about them because I feel like they got, and if you read the title, they got flogged, they got blogged, they got robbed, as we say here in America. They got robbed. This game was stolen away from them, in my opinion. All right, guys. So, again, great strike rate, and he was, I think, the leading scorer, if I'm not mistaken, on both sides. That's right. Jimmy Pearson, 69 runs on 36 balls. What a great job he did. And when all wickets were falling, and I mean, they were falling all over the place, he was the one guy to stand and do his job. Funny enough, the second highest scorer, who was Cooper, guess how he got out? That's right, the controversial LBW by Briggs, which we'll talk about what we didn't like. Could you imagine maybe he just got 2 more runs? 2 more runs. That's what they lost by. But I digress. What's done is done, and he did a fabulous job batting, I should say, Jimmy Pearson. So my hat's off to you, my friend. Okay. On the Brisbane Heat side, I really, as I look at the bowlers, you know what I mean? Ben Laughlin, he got hootied. All right. He gave up 40 runs. I mean, yeah, 50 runs is technically a hootie. But when everybody else is in the 6s and you give up, an economy rate of 10, that's a problem. When everyone else, guys, is at a strike rate of 6 or below, or actually, is it Sakiti? You pronounce it Sakiti? He got a 775, but he got himself 2 wickets, and you've got 40 runs in 4 overs and not a wicket to show for it. Yeah, you didn't have a good day. Okay, Xavier Bartlett, 3 wickets, beautiful economy rate of 6. I mean, the bowlers did their job. Remember, they kept Adelaide Strikers to 150. They did their job with the exception of Ben Laughlin, all right? On the Adelaide Strikers side, what did I like? The Adelaide Strikers, I'm not going to take anything away from their bowling, guys. Okay, Worrell, he had himself an economy rate of 775, 4 overs, 31 runs, 1 wicket. Danny Briggs, that suspicious wicket, okay, that controversial wicket, but he still had 3 wickets, including that one, an economy rate of 5. He bowled well. It's not his fault that the umpires blew it. Peter Siddle, he 1025 economy rate, but he got 2 wickets. Again, if you're going to give up 40 runs in 4 overs, you better give me some wickets, and he did that. Rashid Khan was masterful, okay, 30 runs, 4 overs, 2 wickets. Now, let me preface this by saying Khan got hurt. And at the beginning of the game, Chris Lynn got hurt. So now they got 2 guys, looks like the same injury too with the hammies. So, the fortunes may not be smiling on the Adelaide Strikers, moving forward. And maybe they needed this win just to be able to stay in the hunt. All right. But it was a performance that, kind of showed you both teams are middling teams. They're not like the top tier teams. They're not the Sydney Sixers. Okay. They're not the Sydney Sixers. They're not my Melbourne Stars. You know what I'm saying? But they put in work. I did want to highlight a couple guys. Renshaw, who had 32 runs on 28 balls. That's a 114 strike rate. Jonathan Wells, 31 runs as well. Neeson, 28. Pat Salt. I mean, they had an evenly balanced approach. All right, guys, which was a beautiful thing. Now, what did I not like? What did I not like? DRS, anyone? That was the worst LBW ever. That's got to make a top 10. Are you kidding me? Blasphemy. You call that cricket? That was a Buckner-like call. My gosh, that worst LBW, guys. It happened in the 12th over. Go back and watch it. You don't even got to watch the game. It's all over ESPN Cricket Info. Go on Willow. They have it there. That's what I hated, and it's just a frustrating thing because it really took away from the Brisbane Heat. Again, 2 runs kept us from being a super over, okay? 3 runs kept it from a win. You telling me that the second highest scorer on the Brisbane Heat wasn't going to get 2 or 3 more runs if he doesn't get called out by that horrible LBW? It's time to get it right. That's just what I hated. I don't have an argument. Yes, a whole bunch of the other guys you guys are gonna say, but Hazlitt went out on a duck, right, on 2 balls, no runs. Bryant went out. The rest of the team. You're right. The rest of the team didn't do their job. So what? These 2 guys did their job. Cooper did his job. Pearson did his job. Sometimes 1 or 2 guys will carry you, and that's where you just are frustrated about that. Now, there was a couple incidents where at the end I was arguing that he should have farmed the strike and stayed on strike, okay, Jimmy Pearson, which he did, and unfortunately he came up just a few runs short. It is what it is because he's there with no wickets in hand, all right, and another bowler. So you're gonna say, oh, he should have trusted his bowler. Really? He should trust them? Come on now, let's be real. So, I mean, guys, it's just a frustrating situation. I feel bad for the Brisbane Heat. I'm not even a Brisbane Heat fan. And that is like one of those things where you're like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is rough. And it was frustrating. I absolutely hated that call. The cricketing world should hate that call. And if you're an Australian fan today of either Brisbane Heat or Adelaide Strikers, you know it wasn't the right decision and something needs to be done. What did I learn? I learned that the BBL has a glaring issue because not the day before that, my boy Usman was spared by the umpires. Now, I'm a Uzi fan, and I'm still saying he was out. Ty was livid. He went up. That's about as demonstrative as I've ever seen a player get with an umpire live, okay? And he's telling the umpire, like, are you kidding me? How is that not a wicket? And it was, Uzi clearly hit the ball. All right. It was an edge. It was caught. He's saying it hit the ground. It was atrocious. What did I learn? That the BBL has a glaring issue, guys, and it has to change. Don't tell me any about this tradition. Don't tell me about, we got the best umpires in the world. Really? You got the best umpires in the world? The last 2 days don't show it. And somebody can say, it's a small sample size. What if that was a championship game? The sport has to have integrity. Okay, has to have integrity. How do we keep these umpires in check? You find players for bumping into somebody. Rabada was going to get banned for 2 games with that incident for bumping into Steve Smith, for celebrating too much. But for a blatant call that could have cost it, how do I know that umpire's not on the take? What? He's just beyond approach? He's beyond approach? Let's just be real. Okay, American umpires have gotten caught fixing games. Oh, maybe Americans are the only crooked ones. Really? I'm just saying, look at the history of all sports. From doping allegations, it's all around the world. Match fixing happens, people. Hold those umpires accountable, because if you don't, you're going to keep getting garbage like this. That was atrocious. That was atrocious. My gosh. BBL is somebody asked me about the quality of play. I think that the quality of players and play this year has been amazing. You got to see a great performance. But what keeps us below the IPL, in my opinion, and honestly, you know, when you think about it, even the CPL has DRS. I mean, like, I don't get it. I don't get it. It's not that expensive. All right? Stop buying boats. Stop buying extra houses you don't need and Rolexes, and put the money. Stop giving your executives and guys that don't play a day worth of cricket in their life, and stop paying those guys and put the money back into the sport. Because you can't tell me you can't afford to have DRS in the BBL. Stop it. Stop it. My gosh. Oh, guys, that's it for me today. I'm fired up, but you guys know how I feel about umpires already, and this is a good example of why I feel that way. All right, I've seen, this is not making assumptions. No, umpires in America have gotten caught. All right, guy did Fed time, cousin. Fed time for it, 10 stacks, and he was saying, listen, I'm not the only one. I'll give you a list of 3 people that are doing the same thing I'm doing. All you got to do is cut me a deal. Feds didn't cut him a deal, but they cut Sammy the Bull Gravano a deal to roll on John Gotti, a guy that had like 50 bodies on him. But this umpire, who was fixing games, shaving points, Lakers versus the Sacramento Kings, he couldn't get a deal because I'm waiting. Crickets, anybody tell me? Because they don't want to know. Because they know it happens. They don't want to know. It's so frustrating. Man, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Do you guys think it's just innocent mistake, or is it a problem where if umpires aren't held accountable, it can lead to match fixing? Obviously, this has been a conversation in CFA Nation before, match fixing, and you guys brought it up before we did. Okay, so obviously it's been an issue in the cricket world as well. What other solutions do you have to hold umpires accountable? All right, guys, let me know in the chat. Again, guys, super fired up, but man, I love me some cricket. I will see you next time, probably during Boxing Day. I'm excited for that, and hopefully, well, obviously, it's going to be Boxing Day, so we will get the DRS and not some of these horrible calls. But until next time, guys, same bat time, same bat channel. Peace.